Welcome to episode 123, Why It's So Hard to Stop at Just One and What to Do Instead. Get ready for some real talk on urges, brain chemistry, and breaking free from the over-pleasure trap. If you're a woman who wonders, why do I keep going for more when I'm already full? This one's for you. Whether you're a first-time or a faithful listener, I'm glad you're here as we talk about a subject that comes up fairly often in my DMs as well as in our coaching sessions. I'm Clarenda Price, a certified life and weight loss coach, personal trainer, and former nurse. And I help successful women like you prioritize their health so they can live with energy, clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. I help them make lasting changes beyond dieting, using simple strategies to get to the root cause of overeating and rebalance their hunger hormones, making weight loss easier. With my science-based process, clients build sustainable habits that doesn't require hours at the gym or relying on willpower. One of the added bonuses is they learn how to keep their cup full so they can give from abundance. And with that, there's less reason to eat for emotional or stress reasons. Today's subject is something that we all experience, but we rarely take the time to unpack it. It's that fine line between pleasuring and over-pleasuring. Just like there's a difference between eating and overeating, there's that tipping point when something that is enjoyable goes beyond, and suddenly we're feeling uncomfortable, heavy, and frustrated. Pleasure is not the problem, my friend. There's nothing wrong with pleasure. Pleasure is part of the richness in life. Who doesn't love a warm cup of coffee, a square of chocolate, or pizza on Friday night? These moments bring joy, connection, and satisfaction. But when we go past that point and we start chasing more, that's when it doesn't feel good. That's when the pleasure starts to fade and we feel the after effects of too much. This can happen in different areas of life, but right now we're focusing on a very common area, which is food. Think about the last time that you just had a sweet snack and it was tasting so good and it was all good until suddenly it wasn't good. Until suddenly you started to feel yucky. You felt maybe lethargic like I do, or a feeling of being out of control. Bloating might even set in, and then you're thinking, why is it so hard to stop? I'm not going to talk to you about willpower. I'm going to give you some biology on why this is happening. Let's start with the biology of the glucose-insulin craving cycle. When you eat something sweet or high in refined carbs, and let me pause and just make sure you understand that refined carbs are carbs that are low in fiber. They've been stripped of the fiber or they're overly processed. So foods like white bread, even wheat bread, and sugar, the highly processed foods like a lot of the snacks are, chips and candy and crackers and cereal, along with desserts and supposedly healthy granola bars. So when you eat these refined carbs, your blood sugar or glucose spikes. It goes high. Your body reacts by releasing insulin to bring those levels down. And that's normal. That's how your body protects you. That's how it was designed. So it's doing its job for what you're presenting it with. But here's where it can get tricky. When insulin spikes, it often overcorrects, especially if your body is used to big sugar hits. That drop in blood sugar is what triggers the wave of cravings, not because you're hungry, but because your brain and body are just trying to stabilize. So even though you've just eaten, your body is saying, more sugar, please. And now you're not just chasing pleasure, you're in a cycle, one that makes it harder to stop, harder to feel satisfied, and harder to stay connected to what your body truly needs. That's when pleasure turns into too much. And let's not forget about the role that dopamine plays. Every time you eat something sugary, salty, or highly processed, your brain gets a hit of dopamine. Now, this isn't bad. Dopamine is meant to reward us for life-sustaining things like eating, bonding, and moving. But today's ultra-palatable foods are designed to release more dopamine, a bigger trigger than nature was designing it for, which can override our natural fullness signals. So what happens? We keep eating, Not because we're hungry, but because we're chasing that next hit of pleasure. And just like other highs, the more we chase it, the more we need to elicit the next hit to get the same effect. But over time, we feel less satisfied and stuck. That is why my clients tell me, I start with good intentions, I have a taste, I think that's enough, then I'll have one more, and then suddenly I can't stop. And I say, of course, I get it. It's not that you're bad or that anything is broken. It's simply the science, the biology that's working. It's working exactly as it was designed. And if you're trying to rely on willpower alone, please listen. Willpower is finite. It has its role. It's good. But there's other more effective ways that can change the way you're thinking so you get the results. Just think of willpower as I'm picturing it like you're at a cliff. You're hanging over a cliff. You're hanging onto this rope. You're gripping it, gripping it, gripping it. How long can you stay there before suddenly you just can't help it? You release. It's a physical response. You drop. But here's the good news. Once you become aware of this cycle and you're open, you can begin to change that pattern. You can learn to work with your body and not against it. And you can do so in a compassionate way instead of a judgmental way. Notice how we brought this to some objective data instead of going into the drama of it all. An example of one thing you can do is you can pause and ask, is this really what my body needs right now? Another one could be, am I being present or am I chasing a feeling that's now past? The goal isn't to eliminate pleasure. It's to find that sweet spot where this amount of pleasure is enough. That place where you feel connected, satisfied, empowered, and peaceful. That's what we practice inside the Feel Light, Mind, and Body program. Simple science-backed strategies to reset these patterns. You learn how to work with your hunger hormones, reset that glucose insulin roller coaster, and create new habits that feel nurturing, not forced. Can I give you a gentle challenge for the week? The next time you reach for something pleasurable, check in. Whether that's your phone, whether it's food, or anything else that's bringing comfort. And simply ask yourself, is this still feeling good? Or have I crossed over into the too much feeling? It's not about judgment, it's about curiosity. That one pause can shift your entire evening, your entire relationship with food, and your entire energy. So let's practice finding that sweet spot on your plate, in your mind, and in your day. You deserve pleasure. I deserve pleasure. We just don't have to go to that point of over-pleasure, because then it really isn't pleasurable anymore, is it? We don't have to overdo it to feel good. We feel good when we don't overdo it. Thanks for being here today. And if this resonated with you and you want to kickstart, join us the Tuesday after Easter, April 22nd, for one of my more popular programs, A Fresh Start, Feel Lighter in 2 weeks. I'm excited to share this with you for the very first time as a complimentary gift. And I don't know, maybe it's spring fever, but I think it's deeper than that. I think now it's harder to know and trust what is right and what is wrong and who to trust and who not to. So I wanted to offer a risk-free. You can join in, stay with us for 2 weeks, experience what it's like to have coaching, as well as the first module of the Feel Light, Mind, and Body program to get you set up and ready to go. It's the solid base to begin with. And go from there. See what you think. It's a wonderful community of women. It's very supportive, encouraging, real. Like last night, we had celebrations of wins, but we also had coaching on areas that someone was needing help in. And what one was going through the week before, this week they were encouraging that person because they had worked through it and now they could help the person that was needing it. And it's just a beautiful thing. We all need community. We all need connection. We all need not just encouragement and support. We need to be challenged. We need to feel empowered so that it goes deeper. It gets within, so they have that inspiration. That's when true change will happen. So you have nothing to lose other than some heaviness maybe, and so much to gain. Make sure that you enter the code, the coupon code, because you'll see the regular price there. You just enter mygift, all one word, lowercase. Put that in as a coupon code and it'll automatically make it go to 0. As soon as you register, you'll get an email, but just know we won't be starting until April 22nd after Easter. All the Easter eggs will be gone, the bunnies, and you can truly do a fresh start so that you're ready for the summertime. And yes, you can share that code with anyone that you would like to. You could start by sharing this episode with them, inviting them in, telling them what the code is, and that's also fun to have that extra encouragement with each other, being buddies. I often get asked, is this local? No, I have people from the East Coast, West Coast, our southern neighbors that are in this course as well. In my courses, I should say. All are welcome. It's a place where you feel seen and heard, where you can be authentically you, show up as you are, and always leave more empowered than when you arrive. Until next week, let's keep showing up with kindness and curiosity as we enjoy life fully.